Wow. Just wow. I just got done watching Netflix's newest animated movie, Nimona, and oh my god, was it great. What's up, guys? This is JT Anime and Nerd coming at you with all that nerdy goodness. So, this will be my review for Netflix's newest animated film, Nimona, an animated movie based on a comic of the same name. Now, I don't know what happens in the comics, so I'm not too sure if the story in the comics are the same as in the movie, but I might just give it a read when I get the chance. I do want to apologize beforehand if I sound a bit weird, as it seems I am getting over a minor cold. So without further ado, let's get into my review of Nimona. Major spoilers ahead. So I'll start off with the most common praise the movies like this always get, and that's the animation. No doubt inspired by Into the Spider-Verse. As we all know that movie changed the game for animation and showed animators that they can go a step further in the limits of animation. What else can I say? This movie's animation is just breathtaking, and it really does wonders for the setting surrounding the story. I also have to give the movie praise on how this is one of the few, if not the first, animated movie to represent the LGBT community, as part of the movie's overall story revolves around the relationship and trust between the characters of Ballister Boldheart and Ambrosius Goldenloin. This movie does with an LGBT relationship that I feel Disney themselves have just been shoehorning into their movies, but not really doing anything with them in terms of story. At least not yet. So, well, props to this movie for that. Now let's talk about a bit of the world building for a moment, as I found it to be quite interesting. The story takes place in a futuristic science fantasy setting, as the movie shows how the kingdom possesses advanced technology and weapons, as well as acting like our modern day world in real life. The story even revolves around on the character of Ballister being set up during his knighting ceremony, as the hilt of his sword of the sword that he was given and by a squire shoots out a laser that would ultimately kill the queen in an assassination attempt by one of her own subjects. As a writer myself, I've got to praise the setting, as even I find it hard how to make a movie revolving around a modernized kingdom setting. If I were to compare this world building to any other franchise, I'd say the closest thing is Final Fantasy 15, which is a video game that takes place in a modernized world that still possesses the monarch system of kingdoms, which I just adore. Up next, let's talk about the characters, starting with our title character, Nimona. I just love that rebellious personality she has, as well as her jokes. That punk metal attitude combined with her comedic personality really lands. And to me, she's at her best when she's just being herself. There are multiple scenes where her partner Ballister keeps asking what she is, and she just keeps responding with, "I'm Nimona," showing just how accepting she is of herself despite her inner pain of being judged for just being herself. To the point where she even admits that she's contemplated letting herself die at the hands of the people who fear her. I gotta say, for an animated movie, that was dark, and I just love it. Next up is Ballister Boldheart, a commoner turned knight that the people were hesitant to accept. I found Ballister to be pretty hilarious, even when he tries to be serious, which is actually what I love about him. And it's when things get serious that I feel his character actually shines. The moments where he shows worry for Nimona, or when he encounters his love interest Ambrosius, I feel that the voice actor Riz Ahmed did an incredible job at portraying this character when it um, comes to his comedic side and his serious moments. Which isn't something I expected because I've seen Riz Ahmed mostly in a lot of serious movies, whether they'd be fantasy wise or another. But I also got to say the dynamic between Ballister and Nimona is just incredible. They don't just have that sidekick and boss dynamic that we you see throughout the movie, but a genuine friendship that one could compare to a father and a daughter. Even knowing that Nimona's a monster, there's a scene where Nimona has a kind of Shrek moment and has an arrow stuck in her leg, and Ballister is genuinely worried about her. Ballister actually did begin his journey as a closed-minded person, but began to open up more the longer he got to spend with Nimona, showing him that the world isn't as black and white as even the kingdom believes. Now let's talk about Ambrosius, the love interest of Ballister. One of the negatives I found with him is that I felt he was too much of a flip-flopper, meaning that despite the position he was in, I felt that he shouldn't have been so quick to follow orders since even he was having his doubts about the situation he and Ballister were caught in. He didn't stop to think that the kingdom was too hasty to brand Ballister a traitor or even tried to convince his peers that something he felt was off, and just kind of went with the crowd. It just felt like there was a plot point for him missing, but it doesn't take away how amazing I think this movie is. Ambrosius was also easy to believe that Nimona was the cause of all their problems because of an ancient scroll. It may be scroll, but history can easily be altered, and believe you me, the movie reveals it was altered. However, I do think Ambrosius shines in certain cases. For one, there's a scene where Ambrosius freaks out and rants about his divide between the kingdom he serves and the man he loves, only for it to reveal that this is all going on in his head and it happens in such comedic fashion. To me, this is a perfect representation of someone caught up in a situation where they have to choose sides and what their thought process is in that moment. Another scene I find him to shine in is one where he confronts the character known as the director about the assassination of the queen. The final scene where I believe he shines the most is when he actually stands up to the director and simply says, "What if we were always wrong?" As in what if they were always too quick to judge the people in front of them, the monster they hunted, as well as the world they've shunned around them. I also think Ambrosius shines when it comes to his relationship with Ballister. They're a genuine couple, and you also begin to question whether or not they'll even still remain together due to all the misunderstandings and judgments that happens throughout the movie. Needless to say, Ambrosius, while having his flaws, I find to be a pretty great character. Finally, let's talk about the villain of the film, which is the character known as the director. A sort of Princess Leia looking character, hence the image you see on the screen now. I just couldn't find uh, an image of her that wouldn't get me in trouble for copyright. But anyway, her character represents the main theme of the movie, and that's judgment. Judgment toward anything anyone doesn't understand and therefore fears. The director doesn't really have a backstory to tell, or that's very compelling. But since she's meant to represent hate in this movie, her story is kind of inherited and told in the form of a legend involving their kingdom's founder at the beginning of the movie, a girl named Glorith, who is also Ambrosius's ancestor. It would later be revealed that Nimona actually knew Glorith, and they were best friends. But Nimona would eventually be called by the adults of Glorith's village, and in an attempt to defend herself, Nimona would accidentally cause fire to the village. To Glorith, this was enough for her to see Nimona as a monster and betray her, founding a kingdom based on the foundations of fear, with only those of noble blood defending it, something that would later be inherited by the director, who saw both a commoner becoming a knight and a monster as threats to everything Glorith built. Basically, he's pretty much a fanatic. This is the very reason why the director had the queen assassinated and framed Ballister for it. I gotta admit, I kind of feel like the whole commoner becoming a knight thing was kind of got glossed over in exchange for the not judging a person based on their look trope. But the movie still works even with that issue, in my opinion. Near the end of the movie, Nimona would ultimately sacrifice herself to defeat the director and save the people of the kingdom. The director would die giving in to her fears and prejudice, going so far as to nearly kill innocent people just to eliminate Nimona. It's after all's well said and done that everyone not only finally accepts Ballister, as well as him and Ambrosius get back together, but everyone also appears to finally accept Nimona and even make memorials in her memory for saving both the kingdom and exposing its broken system. The movie does not, and the movie he also kind of ends in a Monsters Inc. moment where, through some unknown magical means, Nimona comes back, leading the movie to end at the moment Ballister is about to utter a swear word, something I so cannot stop laughing at. This movie is by far a huge step in both the LGBTQ community as well as the animation community, as I find Nimona to be a crown jewel of a movie that we just don't get to see every so often. So if I had to rank this movie, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's an amazing movie with a couple minor issues in my eye, but I gotta say, I'm crossing every finger I have in hopes of a continuation, whether in the form of a sequel or a series. I can feel that Nimona has a bright future ahead of it, and that this movie is just the beginning. In fact, you could even say this movie is pretty metal. If you guys enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and put down in the comments section below on what you guys thought of this movie and what kind of video you guys would like to see next, as I'm always looking for suggestions to get this channel on the way to getting monetized. I also want to remind you guys to stay tuned for my upcoming review for Pixar's Elemental. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime, and I'll check you guys later.